I have never heard another Tongan, let alone a Polynesian, but mainly a Tongan, speak out on a subject that's so, that's so taboo. And I was like, well, at the end of the day, it's like, it's a crime. It's a
Yeah.
crime to sexually assault. It's a crime to rape. It's a crime. It's a crime within itself. People think
Yeah.
that crimes are just, going out there and like murdering people, but there's different types of crimes out there. And I
Yeah.
said to her, and if these people won't get held accountable for it, then like all we're doing is like, is
Allowing it.
approving
Yeah.
the fact. Yeah, exactly. Allowing the fact that this is, it's like we're giving consent to people to go out there and do it, and and she turned around and she stood up to her family. Like she ended up having to, and it's sad to say as well, like when you just speak up about it and you stand up for it, you do end up losing family. If anything, you will lose family or you won't. Like it depends on what type,
Yeah.
on
Your
your
family.
family.
Yeah.
If they believe in your beliefs, like if they believe that it is wrong, then they will stand up for what's right. But if they believe that, they have to stick to what the Tongan cultural is back then, like you just have to sweep everything under the rug, then they will do that. And they would rather, and it's sad to say as well, there are families out there who would rather let go of their family and lose their family member than having to stick up for them and having to help them and support them in what they're going through with the struggles that they're going through with sexual assault and stuff. And it's sad to say that it's within our community and within Polynesia itself that this subject, like when women speak about it, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, that's done, like
Yeah.
whatever.
They're shamed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we're shamed for it. And that's when the question starts happening with like, oh, like what did you wear? What did and all this and that. And there was one of my other girls who just recently went through it as well. Like, she had gone out to a party and she was wearing fully covered clothes, like trackies, like long length stuff. And if she's like, I know she will be watching this, and I'm just like, Sila, I love you and I need you to know that like, it's okay to speak out and we're here to support you as well. And she's residing in Brisbane and she's going through this. People are attacking her, saying like, oh well, because she got point blank drunk, like really really drunk, and she entrusted a friend of hers to like, look after her and to protect her, but he turned around and did that to her and abused her, but thought that it was like, she consented it, but you can't consent anything when you're drunk.
Yeah.
And when she put up her story, when she voiced it, the amount, and she's full Tongan, like, and the amount of like abuse that she was getting was like, people were like messaging her, like saying to like bringing her family into it, like saying that, it's better if she, died and all this and that, and like she should take her family with her. Like it's really sad,
Yeah.
upsetting things, and she was crying on social media. Like I always tell people, like, you do not have to like prove yourself, or like you don't have to explain yourself
Yes.
to
Yeah.
small-minded people who don't understand that this is an everyday basis for Polynesian girls, for like Tongan women. We go through things and people are so quick to judge us. Like they turn around and they said to her, yeah, but that's what happens when you go out and you get drunk, and then they turn around and they're like, well, you must have dressed up like a slut, that's probably
Yeah.
why you were easy to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, we're being shamed for being Tongan women, for
Yeah.
being women in general. Being a Tongan, it was really tough. So like watching up until now, she's still going through it. And I'm just constantly like telling her, like, you do not need to explain yourself to these types of people, because these people they won't listen and they won't
Yeah.
change their mind.
Yeah.
Like, it's an everyday thing that we all go through, and it's sad and it's upsetting, especially nowadays when like, in the nowadays generation, like we still go through it, but you would expect that they would learn from older days, from what we've gone through. You would think that they would learn and like stand up for it, but instead they're standing against it. And they're just like, they're blaming the victim for voicing it out, but supporting the perpetrator, like
Yeah. Yeah.
supporting the
Yeah.
person that did it. And it's like, it's so wrong. And it's just, it's sad. It's really really upsetting. But like, yeah, that was my my story of it all, of going through it and stuff. And I do hope that, you know, for those of you that have gone through it, for those Tongan women out there who have gone through it or are going through it, and you feel like nobody's listening, and you feel like nobody's out there and there's no one there to support you, like, my Instagram is on, you know, it's on public. It's not on
Yeah.
private. If you want anybody to talk to, like, reach out to myself, reach out to any of these people that, you know, that
Yep.
that has been on this podcast and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
reach out to everyone. Like, if it won't, it's not gonna help if you just bottle it all up, because at the end of the day, you're just killing yourself. You're eating yourself up, and it's not healthy. And the last thing that I want the youth nowadays to go through is having to turn to suicide, you know, to end these problems, when in fact there are people out there who will help you. Like, we will help you, and we will make sure that it's being voiced out. We will make sure that we can't, you know, I can't promise that the person that did it to you will be behind bars, but I can promise you that we will stand against it, and we will help you,
Yeah.
you know, it's helping each other. Like, we will help you survive and go through, you know, we'll help you through the whole entire process and stuff. Like, just speak up. Don't be scared to, you know, don't be scared to be shamed. You will be shamed whether or not, you know, on a daily basis. You will be shamed for just sitting there and just looking, you know, taking a photo, or just talking, or, you know, or just even opening your mouth, or even breathing. You will be shamed for everything. But yeah, speak out. Like, just honestly, just speak out. And I'm, like I said, my DM is open for you guys to message me or anybody else, in fact, for any advice or for help and stuff. But yeah.